What up? How you guys doing out there today? This is your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy, aka DFS Dudes, and we're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Tuesday, November 20th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This week, you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. And if you haven't came and checked out our site here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, everything that you need. Hey, come check it out. We're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So, hey, how you doing out there, Jeremy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Just finished Monday Night Football. Awesome game. Ready to do some basketball. Let's jump into it.
Yeah, definitely. I'm ready to get into this. Real quick, though, before we do jump in this video, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button for me down below. Helps me out a lot. I really, really appreciate that from you guys. Hey, man, if you guys haven't joined the money team, also, I just want to tell you guys, you're missing out. I mean, we've been on absolute fire, 5-1 last week. Hey, things have been going very well. So, like I said, check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, I'm ready to jump into this slate and just get going with it if you're ready to go, Jeremy.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go.
All right, well, the first game we're going to talk about is going to be the Toronto Raptors going into Orlando to face the Magic. This game has a 225.5 implied total, and Toronto is favored by 6 in this one. So, as usual, get us started with the visitor side of things in Toronto.
So Kawhi Leonard coming off his day of rest on a back-to-back. That's the thing with Kawhi, coming off a back-to-back, getting rest. So Kawhi Leonard, freshly rested, price still very fair at 10,000. We can see averaging 17.8 points per game, 2.6 assists. So he's not filling up the stat sheet just like we've been saying in the other categories. But I really like Kawhi here, and I really think that there's 4 plays, right? It's Kawhi Leonard, it's Kyle Lowry, very fair price, 8,100. Siakam at 6,900 for the production he's putting up, still very fair. And Serge Ibaka, again, another guy, very fair price here, who's playing extremely aggressive, $6,700. You're getting him at a power forward, but he's in a spot that I really like to target. When you've got guys that are in the wrong spot on FanDuel, but they're playing a different position, you can load up your lineup. Like if you've got guys like a Dennis Schroeder when Westbrook is out, you're getting a third point guard in your lineup when you play Schroeder. So you get a guy who gets assists and you get points, etc. You're getting a second center on FanDuel if you're playing Ibaka. He's in the power forward spot, 6,700. You're really getting a second center. He's starting at center, going against a guy in Vucevic, who we know, Orlando gives up points. And looking down here, we can see that he's got a very good matchup as far as power forward spot goes. So I like all 4 of those guys, and kind of keep it there. You could talk about other things, but it would only be if Leonard was out. So that's the 4 guys I'm looking at.
Yeah, and then for me, I mean, on the Orlando side of things, I'm looking at 3 guys I always look at on this team, nowhere else. First, before I do get into those guys, all 3 of these guys, unfortunately, are strictly GPP for me, especially going against a Toronto team, and the price tags are a little bit up. But first thing first, you got Evan Fournier. The guy's been playing well. The past 10 games, he's been on fire. He's been taking care of business. He's had, 1 or 2 bad games in between, but the most part, he's been very consistent. He's been getting his minutes. The only problem with this is I think this game could definitely turn into a blowout. So for me, Fournier is strictly GPP at a 6.6 price tag. We still need about 32 just for him to hit value alone. Then we go to a power forward spot. You got Aaron Gordon. I mean, this guy has upside. Don't get me wrong. I understand. But I mean, just for value on a 7.9 price tag, we need almost 40. And I mean, he's got us barely touch 40 one time in the past 10 games. So for me, Aaron Gordon is strictly GPP. The guy, if I was going to think about playing any of these guys, in a cash game spot or just in general, this is really the guy that I definitely think you could throw in a GPP. 9,500. I mean, for value, you need about 47. He's averaging almost 42 on the season. And this guy's just been playing very well. Outside of one game, he's got you at least 41 in 5 of the past 6 games. So he's showing us a solid floor. They're showing that they want to play this guy a ton of minutes. He's been in the 30s for the most part, in the past 6-7 games. So I like Vooch in this spot. I definitely think that Vooch Gonna have a good game. He's probably my favorite play on the Orlando side of things, but that's really where I'm at, bro.
Yeah,
I'm
I
ready to
got
move.
you. Move it on.
Next game we got it is the Los Angeles Clippers, who are going to be on a back-to-back going into Washington to face the Wizards. This game has a 230 implied total, and Washington's favored by 1 in this game.
Yeah, man. So I like the Clippers. The Clippers have nice pieces. Tobias Harris's price has increased a little bit. Montrezl Harrell, the guy is on fire. 60-point fantasy point tonight. Montrezl Harrell is a tough guy to deal with. I think Harrell can go in there and punk this dude, Dwight Howard, man. Dwight Howard, listen, is questionable. If Dwight Howard doesn't play tomorrow, I really like Harrell. I like Harrell already tomorrow on this slate. Gallinari didn't play today because he's got an illness, so look for that. But Gallinari does have a very good matchup. Lou Williams, you can continue to play this guy. Patrick Beverly, tonight Beverly seemed to be a popular play. His ownership was up a little bit in all formats, but tonight wasn't really a Beverly night. He kind of rises to the occasion when it's a tough matchup or a bigger type game. And
Hey, bro,
I think
Beverly tonight, man. We were both feeling Beverly, but you know what? What really happened to him tonight was he got into foul trouble early with like 8 minutes in the third quarter. He got into foul trouble, 4 fouls quickly into the third quarter, and the coach was never put him back in. He's like, look, bro, you can't control yourself and not foul, then you sit your ass on the bench. And that's what happened to him.
Yeah, but the thing with Beverly is Beverly plays better in games that have good point guards because that's his game. We both know his game is defense. He wants to shut other guys down. He's tough. And the guy's like, he hounds people. So he also, on the flip side of it, has one of the better DVP matches on the slate, the second best DVP matchup as Washington's 23rd against opposing point guards. So I like Beverly coming back, let people down tonight. Price still 4,800, 4-game slate. Good place to look for a discount is Beverly. I look for a good bounce back from him. Lou Williams, this is another Lou Williams type of game. They've got a ton of shooters. Say what you want about Washington being a mess, but they've got a ton of shooters over there. This game could go back and forth. We see it's the highest over-under on the night by not almost 8.5 points, and it's only a 1-point spread. So, I like Tobias Harris. I think he's a little overpriced, though. I'd rather pay for Montrezl Harrell. Gallinari, possibly, but definitely a Lou Williams, a Patrick Beverly, and a Harrell I'm looking to play in this one.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I get what you're saying completely. So for me, I mean, looking on the Washington side of things, I mean, you knocked it out for me. I mean, Washington's a mess right now, bro. I don't understand what's really going on with Washington. I mean, if we're gonna look to play anybody, I mean, obviously it's a small slate, so we definitely have to consider some guys. I mean, you could look at a John Wall for GPP, but at 9,800, I mean, he hasn't been consistently hitting these price tags. Just for him to hit value, we're going to need about 48. And I mean, he hasn't got us more than 37 in the past 3 games. He hasn't got us 48 in 6 games. So for me, strictly GPP play. It's the same thing with Bradley Beal. His price tag's up 8,200. For value, we need about 41. And I mean, he hasn't got a 41 in 5 games. So, I mean, like I'm saying, for these guys, I just don't know what to do, honestly, with the Washington side of things. One thing I will note, though, I mean, Otto Porter, 5.8, he's too cheap, but his, price tag is fair for what he used to do. It's not really fair for what he does now because we need about 28. I mean, look what he's been doing 21, 18, 25, 15, 15, 16. These are slate killers, right? This just busts your lineup. So I can't really trust him. One guy I will look at, though, all season when Dwight Howard's been out, they've been playing small ball. And Kelly Oubre, he's been, playing well when he gets the opportunity. It's all about minutes with him for the most part. Dwight Howard went out last game and he got, some extra run. He put up almost 36 fantasy points. This guy has some upside for us. Definitely. At a 5,000 price tag, we need about 25 for value. The Clippers, they tend to play small ball as well. They play Harrell and they play Harris at the power forward and center. So I definitely think Oubre can match up against those guys. They're not too big. So I really do like Oubre in the spot if Howard's going to be out. Markieff Morris, I mean, the price tag's down, but he's just all over the place. You need 22 for value. I can't even trust this guy for 22 right now. That's how bad it is. So, I mean, You mentioned it. I mean, they're all over the place. Howard, I definitely expect him to be out. I mean, the only other guy you could possibly consider is maybe Mahimi. He got early minutes when Howard was out, but he wasn't even getting consistent minutes. So I mean, honestly, you could look at John Wall, Bradley Beal, Otto Porter for GPP, and you could possibly throw in a little bit of Cali Oubre, and that's really where I'm at, man.
Push it.
Let's go, man. Next game we're going to talk about is going to be Portland going into New York to face the Knicks. This game has a 221.5 implied total, and New York is favored. I'm sorry, and the Portland Trailblazers are favored by 7.5 in this one.
Madison Square Garden, the bright lights. Dame Lillard is a scorer. I love Lillard in this spot. The best DVP matchup on the board, as we can see, they're 24th to opposing point guards. The Knicks are. Look at Lillard's player card. 38 minutes is the highest he's had, in his last 10 games or so. But he's constantly in that 35, right? His average is probably right about 35 and a half minutes. And this guy's a scorer, man. And he really does. The thing about Dame is Dame does what the game dictates. If they need him to go out and score, he'll go score. If they need him to distribute, he'll distribute. But the assist numbers are really there, too. I mean, he's getting 5, 6, 7, and then he's got an upside of 12 or 13 assists. And you look at the rebounds. This guy is really filling out the stat sheet all the way across the board. Obviously, he has close to 60-point upside, and then he gets a boost because he's at Madison Square Gardens. The Knicks have the ability to score with people, and Portland does like to give up a lot of points. They're not a great defensive team. So I look for this game to stay close. I know the spread's 7.5, but that's 7.5 means that everybody plays all 4 quarters. There's no resting, no blowout. Amino's another guy. Has the best matchup on the board for power forwards, the DVP. You can look to go there. And then McCollum's price is just steady staying in this between 64 and 6,800. McCollum's played very fair. We need him to get us around 38 points to reach value. He can do that. He's been steady, really steady in this 30-point range over his last 5 games. He's had one dud. The Minnesota game was the aberration, really. But the minutes are there. The minute, 39 minutes was a high played against Washington. He's constantly staying in these 35, 34, 35-minute range. So you're looking for minutes and opportunity that equals fantasy goodness. I'm going Lillard, McCollum, Aminu. You can't leave out Evan Turner, and Nurkic is definitely in play here. It all depends on the minutes that Enes Kanter is going to play. But, if Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson are going to eat up the bulk of those minutes in the 4 and 5 spots, I love Aminu and I love Nurkic.
Yeah, no, I mean, before I even get into the next things, I want to make something very, very clear. This slate is a GPP slate. There's not one game. Every single one of these games could be a blowout. That's my honest opinion. I'm not really feeling comfortable playing a lot of people on this slate. So I definitely think it is more of a GPP slate. But I'll jump in on the Knicks side of things. So, I mean, you could definitely look at a guy like Moutier at point guard. First thing first. The problem with him is he's still only getting, 23, 24 minutes a game. I mean, we played him a couple games ago, and he went off for 33 fantasy points, killed it. Yes, we got him on the right night. But if you look at these other 2 nights, 14, 16, these are in starting roles. I definitely think Moutier, you can look at him because he's cheap. I just don't like the minutes. I mean, I don't like playing somebody who's getting 21, 22 minutes, even 23 minutes. If you're a starter, I want you to have at least 28 minutes. But that's just kind of really where I'm at. I look at it, I go to a shooting guard spot. Okay, well, one guy that's been very consistent minute-wise has been Tim Hardaway. But you know what? I'm not paying $8,000. You need 40 just for value. For Tim Hardaway, we got him projected at about 30. This guy is way overpriced. He's not a guy that I'm not going to touch at all. I don't know what's going on with this small forward position. You could possibly look at the rookie and Kevin Knox, but at 4,800, we still need 24 from value from him. Even though he's starting, it's the same thing. He's not really getting the minutes. He's getting 23, 24 minutes, and we're talking about we need almost 24 for value. He hasn't got us 24 in the past 8 games. I mean, so like I said, strictly GPP for me. The guy that is interesting, you mentioned him, Enes Kanter. I mean, this dude, he's last game against Orlando, he played 37 minutes. And look at what this dude did. 21 points, 19 rebounds. That's what this dude does when he gets minutes. Look at this last time he played 40 minutes, 23 and 24. Hey, Jay, I guys got a quick question for you, homie to homie. What do the Knicks not understand? Or you think they're just trying to tank, and that's why he's not getting the minutes?
I don't think they're trying to tank. I think they have a problem with their talent, and they're trying to figure out who they're going to keep and who they're going to get rid of. And I think they're trying to find a rotation where they can see who plays well with each other, and whoever doesn't fit in that are the guys they're going to get rid of. And that's why you see 20 minutes a game from a Trey Burke. That's why you see 20 minutes a game from Emmanuel Mudiay. That's why you see Enes Kanter going through these ups and downs. I mean, I also think that you've got Mitchell Robinson, who they think is their future at the center position. He's a rookie, man. I don't know if they don't think he can handle the game to game, if they're trying to take the Joel Embiid, path to trust the process and just kind of play this guy here and there, and then they broke. I don't know. It's a mess.
You know what I'm saying about a Cantor, right? I mean, it's like, fuck, if he's gonna get the fucking minutes, the guy's gonna have a 20-point fucking 20 rebound game. Like, goddamn,
Kanter.
So for me,
Kanter's a beast. I don't know. I wish they just trade him and let him go play somewhere where he can start and play, because he's a really good player.
Bro, he's never got that. Bro, he can get traded to the Lakers. I will start his ass over JaVale McGee.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So for me, I mean, sorry to get off track, but on the Knicks side of things, Kanter's my favorite play. 6,500. The price tag's actually still fair. Need about 32 for value. If he's gonna play, even 26, 27 minutes, the guy definitely has some upside for that. So Kanter is probably my favorite play on the Knicks side, and then you can look at Mudiay, and I'm ready to move on.
Push it.
Cool. Last game of the night is going to be Brooklyn Nets going into Miami to face the Heat. This game has a 215.5 implied total, and Miami is favored by 3 in this one.
So let's take a look here, right? So here's kind of another unique situation. We know Karis LeVert is injured. We all know what happened with that. But if you take a look, I have Russell listed as a starting point guard because that's kind of what's going on here with the injury. 17th is the DDP. Not a great matchup, but it's a top 5 matchup on the slate. But look at his minutes: 34, 29, 23, 32, 22, 26, 26. I'm not going to play Russell tomorrow. I think Russell's a trap. I'm going to continue to roll out Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie coming off a monster game where he had the 46.8, still gets 22.3 against the Clippers. But, I mean, he's been very consistent. And I think at his price tag, he can reach value in this game against Miami, who's going to be without Goran Dragic, which we know when you don't have a Goran Dragic on the floor, their defense suffers a little bit. Miami's not the defensive team they have been in years past. So I do like Dinwiddie. I think Allen Crabbe is a good tournament play. I think Ed Davis is a guy you can continue to roll out depending on the slate. When you've got, the rule, when you've got 2 big guys like a Jared Allen and Hassan Whiteside are going to go at each other, one of them's probably going to get in foul trouble. I kind of default my rule here where I don't like to play Whiteside on the road. This is a home game for him. I think Whiteside's the guy that stays out of foul trouble, so you can roll Ed Davis out there, especially on this 4-game slate at 4,000. And Damari Carroll at 3,900. This guy is too cheap for me. He's just too cheap. They're short. I understand 16 points, 20 points, 16 points, but here's the thing. His minutes, he took a little bit of a dip here at 19 against the Clippers. Everybody in this on their side really suffered from a fantasy production standpoint in this Clipper game. But 24 minutes, he got his 20. The minutes started to climb up a little bit. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson did come back, so that, he had the ankle injury. But Damari Carroll's too good of a player, and he's too cheap at 3,900. To me, he feels like a really solid play on this particular slate for a value pick. I'll have a lot of exposure to Damari Carroll tomorrow. That's really the extent of the Knicks that I'm going to roll out. If you want to get crazy and take a deep dart, throw Jared Dudley in there. It's a 4-game slate. It's a tournament slate, just like you said. So for me, the goodness is with Dinwiddie. You could look to play Jared Allen if you're feeling kind of freaky about it. But Hassan Whiteside at home, the guy's gonna, he's gonna get. I have a feeling he's gonna eat Jared Allen's lunch tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I definitely. I agree. I mean, Whiteside on the road. No, Whiteside's actually home though.
That's what I'm saying. I don't play Whiteside on the road because he gets in trouble, but he's at home. He's at home, so I think he's going to get Jared Allen in the foul trouble. Whiteside he stays out of foul trouble at home for the most part.
Yeah, no, for sure. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I heard it wrong. No, you're right. Correct. I agree 180% for sure. So then, I mean, on the Miami side of things, I mean, so first thing we know Goran Dragic is out. He's a guy that plays about 30 minutes a game. So those minutes are going to go somewhere. I think there's two guys that are the main beneficiaries. First thing first, you got Josh Richardson. We know this guy. We always talk about it. In both of our opinions, we think this guy is the best player on this team. And you know what? He is, but 7.7, his price tag is up there. We need about 37 just for value. And that's what's scaring me. He definitely has the upside. If this guy was 6.5 and Dragic was out, I would say this guy's a lock. But the fact that his price tag is up, that's what's scaring me. The guy's still a really good play, but he's more of a GPP play. The guy that I'm looking at really with Dragic out right now is going to be Tyler Johnson, 5,600. His price tag has actually creeped up a little bit as well. But we only need about 27 for him to hit value. He's got us at least 25 in the past 3 games. He's played at least 29 actual minutes in the past 3 games. And this is a guy, I definitely think he can creep up to the 34, 35 minutes with no Dragic. The coach has shown he really liked Tyler Johnson. He's played him 38, 39 minutes in the past. So I definitely think this guy's going to soak up most of the workload for Dragic. You can definitely look at Magruder, who's been playing well in the season, and you can look at Wayne Ellington. They'll get a couple more guard minutes as well. And then, you talked about him, Whiteside, 8,600. The price tag is actually up a little bit, and 8,600 for value, we need about 43, and he hasn't got us 43 since 5 games ago. Definitely think that he can have a really good game at home. I would actually really agree with you. I mean, if you've looked at it, he's had 4 down games, and they've all been on the road. My boy Jeremy hit it, pretty much right on the nail. In a game at home, going against Brooklyn. Jared Allen, not a guy that really scares me. I really do like Whiteside in this spot. So for me, on the Miami side of things, I'm looking at Tyler Johnson, and I'm looking at Hassan Whiteside. I really like bigs against Brooklyn. I've been doing it all year. Talked about Dwight Howard a couple of games ago. Told you guys to play him against Brooklyn. The guy had a monster day. So like I said, Tyler Johnson, Whiteside for me. And then if you're looking GPP, you can go Magruder, Wayne Ellington, and Josh Richardson. And I'm sorry. And I do just quickly want to mention Justice Winslow. His minutes have actually been down. The past couple of games. But, last time Dragic was out, they actually started this dude at point guard. The guy, he's a really good player. He can drop some dimes. He fills up the stat sheet. So I definitely think that Justin Winslow gets a little bit extra bump with no Dragic. And that's it for me.
Yeah, man. So just a quick question there about Sayless is asking if Dwayne Wade is back. He's already been ruled out for tomorrow's game with the birth of his daughter, still celebrating that. I don't know what's going on in today's world, man, where dudes are missing like a week on paternity leave. It's crazy to me. Go play, man. You're getting paid to go play basketball.
Right.
I'm glad you mentioned that one point about Justice Winslow, because I do have him slated and projected for our stuff as their point guard tomorrow, because they did start him at point guard. They started Winslow at point guard, Magruder at the power forward. They started Whiteside, Richardson at the 2. And then Wayne Ellington at the small forward. So if Winslow does start tomorrow, if that's the starting lineup, I like Winslow at 5,000. Again, like I said, with Ibaka, you're plugging an extra point guard in there. He'll get ball handling, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So he has it. And Winslow, for a guy who's listed as a small forward, has a true usage rate of almost 19%, which is very high for a small forward guy who doesn't really touch the basketball very much. So Winslow's a pretty good play at 5,000.
Right, that's what I was saying. If he starts at point guard, I definitely think he's a cash can play. Straight up. It is what it is.
I'm just going to hit this last question and we'll get out of here. From Courtney Parker. He's asking how I'm assuming he wants to know how many minutes we can expect from a player at 3.5K. That depends on the opportunity, man, and it depends on where it's at. If you're talking about, I'll give you a perfect example. Back, I want to say last week, there was 3 guys that were ruled out for Atlanta. Kevin Huerter was a guy who was listed as a starter. And in that opportunity, you could expect him to play a guy who's routinely getting 18 minutes. A coach has made a comment saying that before the injuries and the guy's being ruled out, saying that it's a guy they're trying to get extra minutes to. Then they've got injuries. You can expect him to go close to 26, 27 minutes. It just depends on who it is and what the opportunity is. You can look at these guys like Who's the cheapest guy? Wayne Ellington at 4,200, and Alan Crabb, and a Jared Dudley at 37. You just pay attention to the rotation and the opportunity. That's how you project minutes, man. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that's really all I got for this slate. It's a small slate. We got through it quickly. Definitely touched on the important plays in this slate. If you go check out the site, dfscheatsheet.com. I'll be back tomorrow with my NBA core plays. If you want to try and play some cash tomorrow, also go check out the DFS Cheat Sheet YouTube channel. Jeremy puts his daily GPP core plays, help you take down a tournament with some low-owned guys. They're definitely in great spots, so make sure and go subscribe to that. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Good luck tomorrow on your lineups, and peace out. Thanks, guys.